Hi guys, how are you doing today? My name is Sherry. I'm an adult with ADHD. My channel is called Lady Phoenix. My name is Sherry, if you're new here. Today is Sunday. I am walking in circles. I live in a place where it's very, very cold. And I can't go for walks outside right now. And so when I need to get some energy, I'm walking laps around my house. I wanted to pop on real quick and give you guys an update. It is a new day. I keep wanting to fall asleep. I did see a video the other day that I'm going to post. Oh my gosh. I'm going to make myself dizzy. Trying to hold this steady. I saw a very interesting video the other day. I'm going to post it in my community tab. As I find things that I think might be useful for you guys as well as for myself, I post them. If I post too many, let me know. You never have to watch them. But I know some of my friends that come here are ADHD, and some of my friends are autistic, and some of my friends have both. All people are welcome here, neurotypical, neurodivergent, people who struggle with depression, people who struggle with mental health, people who just feel different, people who have been made to feel like there's something wrong with them their whole life and they can't just be themselves. You're all welcome here. I know that when I do my live streams, I'm like on. I'm like so excited. I get dressed up. I feel good about myself. And I'm at my best. So if you watch those and you didn't know me, you probably think I have no problems at all. Right now, all I want to do is fall asleep. So I'm not actually doing my exercise walking. I'm doing my you better walk before you fall back asleep. So I'm going to walk for like 5 or 10 minutes. But interestingly enough, the video that I saw was from a woman who does neurofeedback. I think it's called neurofeedback. I think it is type of treatment that most of us, am I shaking this camera? I gotta hold it steady. I think it's a treatment that most of us don't have access to. I don't think insurance pays for it. I think they might put a cap on your head, and it actually trains you to regulate your nervous system. So I'm not sure exactly how they do it. I would like to learn more about that because it has been mentioned to me by a therapist. But the thing that was really interesting is because she works in this field of neurofeedback, she gave some little information in this video about how the ADHD brain works different. I want to dig that back up and make some notes, and I might do a video about that. But so in my live, I just started talking. I talked about a bunch of different things. Thank you for everyone who came. I had so much fun. My ADHD being interested squirrel by 10 million things. I had so much fun talking to you guys. We talked about everything from the anatomy of the ADHD brain, special interest, my special interest, science, and the jewelry I make. And I got to talk to you guys and see what you liked. And some of you guys are talking about music. And I think it was Hawkhorn. Somebody was talking about how they were holding back because they wanted to info dump about their favorite music. I said, go for it. Go for it. As long as other people can, comment. I forgot what I was going to say. I just woke up a little while ago. So we're going to see how productive I can be today. The thing she was saying is that I don't know how different this is I don't think autistic brains have this. You guys don't seem to struggle with feeling like you're falling asleep all the time. It turns out that ADHD, and I have to go back and watch this. I'll probably make a video about this because I found it so, oh my God, I'm shaking this. I found it so interesting. So you know how there's different types of brainwave activity? There's the type, and I can't remember, theta, delta, whatever. But there's a brainwave that your brain does when it's alert and active. And then there's one when you're kind of relaxed. And then there's one where you're sleeping. Well, the one that most people can do when they're alert and doing their things throughout the day and they're not tired, for some reason, either we can't connect to that or we don't operate in that. So we can't just be awake and pay attention because we're in this lower brainwave. Unless you're like super, super hyperactive, we're in this brainwave where we keep feeling like we're falling asleep. I'm like, that's why I'm tired all the time. So, yes, long story short, if you only see me on my live streams and I look like I have it together and I'm like on it, it's in the afternoon to evening. And I'm super psyched that there are people there, so I get dopamine. I had a big dopamine boost. I have a lot of coffee, maybe some vitamins. I am not in that state all the time. And I was a little tired the next day, but that was totally worth it. I have no idea how that went on for 4 hours, but I had a blast. I put something on my community tab if you guys want to check it out. I think it's 16personalities.com. I have a question. It's a curiosity. So the personality sorters, they're not set in stone, right? They're just for fun. But it does help us understand how we're all wired very differently from each other. And we think that everybody thinks the same as us, and it's not true. We think we have all the same preferences or values or whatever, and then we don't understand each other and we don't know why. And I'm not going to get into a big thing because I'm actually going to get going. But drink my coffee. Even though I'm walking in circles and it's been 7 minutes, I just want to fall asleep. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I have recently been able to change my ADHD medication back to what it was before. You know, once upon a time I had time released, and I think I had been off of the ADHD meds for many years. I can actually do an episode just on that because my experience is trying to treat my ADHD. It wasn't there were a couple of specific things that were emotional and triggering that happened to me that as a human being and as someone who struggles with something and dealing with either bureaucratic systems that wanted to protect themselves, so they didn't prescribe it at all. Even though I was working with somebody who was a psychologist, and that's what he did, is he would reach out and work with people's primary care in the place I was at the time. Didn't want to deal with it at all. And this is going back to like sometime after between 2004 and 2008. And it was like traumatized because, not that situation because I got it, but I had moved from another medical establishment because of their rules for how they prescribe ADHD meds. Now, I want you guys to know, I do not judge people who have addiction at all. 100%, no. There have been some members in my family in the past there have been some members who struggle with it, and other people dear to me, either themselves or their family. I'm starting to get out of breath. That's a good thing. So if you ever hear me being frustrated or upset because people who have addiction get these things, and kids get these things, and college students get their hands on it, but me as an adult, the one who the medication was made for, couldn't get it. I have I guess each situation you wouldn't call necessarily a trauma, but because it's been a consistent experience for me time again, it's that's like almost 20 years. Actually more, because I think I dealt with them before that. It's a lot, and it's become a trauma, because all of those layers add on top of themselves, and I have cried over this. In another former life, when I was living in a different place and I was in a different relationship, I couldn't, I was trying to go back to work after a period of absence, and I did not want to have to disclose to employers that I had ADHD, since I have had a period of time where I was out of work. I just wanted to go back to work. I wanted to get this medicine that was designed and made and prescribed for someone like me who has what I have, what is diagnosed, and I couldn't get it. Let's see, there was two places that wouldn't prescribe it. One, they didn't do it at all. I even asked I talked to a manager on the phone, and then I ended up talking to the owner of the establishment, and it didn't matter if I said, look, you guys have to understand, some of us are not drug seeking. For me to actually do that, I was on my last, I was putting myself out on a limb. It was embarrassing enough, but I was like, I'm tired of struggling, and there has to be a way that somebody like me can get the medication I need to function. I said to him, I'm happy that children get help. If they need medication, it's not for me to decide what's appropriate and what's not appropriate for kids. I'm not knowledgeable in that. So don't at me on that, because I don't know. I don't talk about that because I'm not knowledgeable on that. I'm not knowledgeable on how to treat children, period. I'm not knowledgeable if children are overdiagnosed. I don't know about that. I know about adults. That's my experience. That's what I can talk about. And I have a lot of years of a lot of different experiences between me and other people I've met. That I can talk about. I'm 50. There's 25 years of experiences I have that I can talk about. There's been times where I was uninsured and I had to pay out of pocket just to go to the counselors. I do have depression as well. And I do feel like, and I can't really get into this because I don't feel like in control, like there's nothing I can do about it, but it would be really nice if we had a different kind of, if the medical system, if there was another option. How did I get into this conversation? I don't know. I'm walking in circles. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, I just thought it was very interesting about the different brainwaves, and I'm going to get information. I look terrible. I'm always saying that, and I'm so sorry if you guys are tired of hearing me say that. It's like, well, then film yourself in the morning. But I also want to be authentic, and this is how I am in the morning. So, another update. I have a friend who really likes Marilyn Monroe, and I'm not specifically like, I do like Marilyn Monroe a lot. I do. I love her. For me, it's like a connection to vintage things, and it reminds me, I'm totally getting off topic. Why did I want to bring that up? Oh, the last couple days I went down a rabbit hole of looking at my lipsticks to see which ones I have that they wore. I have one that Audrey Hepburn used to wear. Incidentally, if there are any ladies that are watching this that like beauty things, I used to be a beauty department manager in a type of, kind of like a department store, I won't say where. And even in, your local pharmacy makeup, I find it very interesting that Revlon, I'm not going to get anything about that. My mom used to work for Revlon when I was a little girl, so that's also part of it. She would come home with totes, and this is the 80s, so she would get free makeup and all kinds of stuff. I thought that was so cool. And the fact that they are one of the very few makeup lines. Ladies out there, tell me, every 6 months they're doing a cosmetic reset in your local pharmacy or other store. They're constantly, every 6 months to a year, they're going to reset it, which means the cosmetic companies, the famous cosmetic companies, every year they're going to come up with brand new things because they want to make money, and that's what they do. It's marketing. And in order to do that, they are going to discontinue some things. And to keep this interesting for the guys who are probably really bored right now, we get our favorite products and they get rid of them. And it's upsetting. Because it's too much work, man. Yeah, there are people who are really into, I'm running out of battery. Yeah, there are people who are really into, who are makeup artists, and people who are so into beauty that they have tons, and maybe they have a good income and they can buy all this expensive makeup. I know I can't. So maybe you're not, but there's a few things that it's taking you a long time to find, and you don't want to buy something else. It's like for guys, you have that favorite brand, you finally found a pair of pants that fits you in a way that doesn't irritate you. And let's say they discontinue the line. Let's say you've been using it for 10 years. You finally found something, you're like, okay, it's time for me to stock up. It's time for me to get more jeans, and go into the store and it's gone. Well, the girl version, if you like beauty, and this is all I'll say, if you like vintage, like I love learning about vintage things and old Hollywood and stuff. The stories, when you hear the truth of how it was back then, I have yet to find a starlet or a star that hasn't had a tragic life, which is really depressing because we all, look up to them. Anyway, Revlon is one of the few cosmetic companies that has some makeup in production today that has connection to old Hollywood. You might not know that. So their lines of super lustrous lipstick is the same. And they actually have several shades of red in production today that were actual lipsticks Marilyn Monroe wore. And I was actually compiling a list so that I could see if I had any. I know I have one that Audrey Hepburn supposedly wore. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm rambling about my interests. What are your special interests? What did I come on here to say? If you feel like you're always falling asleep and you have ADHD, your brain tends to operate more in, I think it's theta, and you wonder why you can't just wake up. There's another brainwave that neurotypical people can operate in, and their brain just goes into that, and it's a much more alert state. So not only are we deficient in dopamine and have all these parts of our brain not working as well, we're operating in this lower, more sleepy brain state. And consequently, people who are not diagnosed, there's a higher percentage of addiction. Because you're either going to be drinking a shit ton of coffee, smoking cigarettes to wake the heck up because you don't understand why you're tired all the time, and you can't think straight and you can't function. Or if you're hyper, some of them go to risky behaviors. Anyway, I love you guys. Theta. I think it's theta. This is a hot mess. I love you guys. Oh, so yesterday was like I was going to get some cleaning done. I know I showed you last week. I think I'm going to be doing that today. Is this going to make you dizzy? So this was from, I've been walking 20 minutes. And I wasn't even trying to exercise, just wake up. So this is where we ended last week. I'm going to be working on that today. I have a bunch of empty boxes I brought up to organize, and they just became part of the pile. So I started sorting through some of this stuff this week. I'm going to be trying on these clothes. At least if I do that, and then I'm going to be doing this. There is some clutter here. This is what's happened over time. I get overwhelmed by my stuff, and I can't, with my executive functioning, Executive functioning has to do with planning and prioritizing. So if you look into your mess, and yes, in my head, I know I can sort, okay, these are piles of paper. These are piles of my arts and crafts. And that's what I'm going to start with. But the overwhelm comes, you know how you can just go through and say, okay, this is important, I'm going to keep this. This isn't important, I'm not going to keep that. That's part of executive functioning. Narcissism works so well. So I look at it all and I don't know what I want to keep and I don't know what I want to purge. And then because I'm frustrated because I don't understand why I can't do something that should be simple, I get triggered by it because it's just been such a problem for so many years. And then I get emotional, which can lead to a meltdown, which is counterproductive. And so most of the time, if I look at my mess, I either want to throw up, and it seems like a disproportionate reaction. So, and then if I showed you downstairs, should I take you guys with me? Take you guys with me. So yeah, you see me at my best, and then like, let me see me. And I whitened my teeth yesterday. That's a funny story. Did I leave them on for the half hour you're supposed to? Yeah. Did I leave them on a lot longer? Yeah. Are my teeth sensitive? A little bit. Are the teeth whitening strips I found expired? Yeah. Did that stop me from using them? No. Because I don't feel like going to the store and buying more. So let me show you guys. Curtis is down here, so I don't want to be too loud. So that is the mess upstairs that we're working on today. And then once I can organize, baby, I'm just recording if you're wondering what's going on. Okay. And it's very yellow in here. So let's see if I can pan out here. Can I pan out? So this was kind of like storage that kept getting moved around when we added some lights into this space. This was a bookshelf, which is really cool, that my family got me to help encourage me to get organized because they know I struggle. And incidentally, at least it's somewhat organized. I didn't know what to do with some of my excess blankets, so I just put them down here for now. But yeah, eventually what I would like to do, and these boxes have been moved so many different times that everything's gotten mixed up with everything. And I don't know if any of you guys have ADHD, and I don't think everyone with ADHD necessarily has this problem, maybe, but yeah, it's bad. And then I get paralyzed by it. So when I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, in my mind, these are ones I was going to return because they didn't smell good. I forgot all about them. Yeah. That was a vanity table, and I was going through my vanity phase. I found an old vanity table at a thrift shop. We actually built a cover to it. And check these out. I haven't painted on furniture in a long time, and I like to do crafts. So I bought these. I'm going to make this look vintage at some point. But because I didn't know what I was doing, I have more than one. Of course I do. And all this was supposed to organize. So yeah, once I organize upstairs, God, guys, this is like my worst nightmare. I'm going upstairs. I'm all set. If you're okay, bye guys.